Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great afternoon. I'm here to talk about how you can create custom analytics on top of normalized, enriched, and standardized SaaS application data that AppFabric provides. In the later half of this session, I will also show you a demo of how I, as a security analyst, can detect, investigate, and resolve a potential security incident, such as a suspicious login from a foreign country. So throughout the day, you've heard about how AppFabric empowers customers to improve their security posture using security tools like Splunk. However, here in AWS, we understand that every customer is unique and that a single solution may not apply to everyone. So why build analytics on top of SaaS data in AWS? One reason could be that your company is growing quickly and you are still in the early stages of figuring out what your security infrastructure is going to look like. Let's take a couple of seconds to read this quote from a customer. This customer is clearly interested in getting more visibility towards their SaaS applications, but they're unable to do so. Maybe because they don't know where to start, they don't know which security tools to purchase, or maybe it is just too complex for them. Small and medium-sized businesses like this customer often have a single person or a team performing multiple duties. For example, the IT admin team may be wearing the tech support hat, as well as the HR support hat, as well as security analyst hat. Often, these teams are stretched thin and they do not have the time or the expertise to implement a full-fledged security solution, which requires making long-term, high-impact decisions, such as which security policies to put in place, what control mechanisms should exist, and what security tools to purchase. That does not mean your customer data, your crown jewels, need to be unprotected. With AppFabric and AWS, customer can build a very simple analytic solution with basic querying, alerting, and reporting capabilities so that customers, especially small and medium-sized customers, can protect their critical SaaS applications even when they're going through a rapid growth. A different reason for a customer to build custom analytics could be that they have an operational need to monitor certain metrics. For example, the same customer was also interested in knowing how many meeting participants attended their video conferencing app, how many meeting participants used their application, video conferencing application. This was because they wanted to make sure that the big app update push that they wanted to send did not disrupt the users. Similarly, if you are an engineering team and want to track operational excellence, you might want to track how many Jira tickets have been created or resolved over the last 7 days. On a different note, even security teams may benefit from building custom analytics solutions so that they can share key events and key findings with their stakeholders and leadership without providing access to their security tools. Let's take a couple of seconds to read this customer quote on screen. As is often the case, security teams don't work in isolation. They have to collaborate with other teams to make sure that a company's security posture is up to par. Like this customer, if you are in the middle of weeks-long investigation into a confidential data leak and need to collaborate with other teams, then you may find it easier and more secure to share your data with other teams using automatically refreshing dashboards. Now that we have discussed why you might want to build custom analytics on AWS, let's talk a bit about the various services AWS provides to help you achieve that goal. To store, manage, and catalog the data you build your custom analytics on, AWS provides Amazon Security Lake and Amazon S3. To move data from one service to another, AWS provides Amazon Kinesis Data Firehouse and AWS Glue. Similarly, services like Amazon Athena and Amazon Redshift help customers get the answers that they need using SQL. Finally, services like Amazon QuickSight and Amazon OpenSearch Service provide you with dashboarding capabilities with rich visualization and powerful searching, filtering, and reporting capabilities. Before I move on to my demo, I want to touch on two services that we have in AWS. One is Amazon Security Lake. Amazon Security Lake was announced last year and was made generally available last month. It helps customers. In fact, it has already helped thousands of customers centralize their security monitoring for their cloud infrastructure with its native integration with CloudTrail Security Hub and other AWS sources. It comes natively integrated with Amazon Athena, meaning customers can write queries within minutes of setting up Security Lake. Now with AppFabric, you can ingest SaaS security logs as well to Security Lake so that you can achieve truly centralized security monitoring for both your cloud infrastructure as well as your cloud apps. The second service that I want to touch on is Amazon QuickSight. Amazon QuickSight is a serverless, no-code business intelligence tool that also comes integrated with a ton of commonly used AWS services such as Athena, S3, Redshift, et cetera. It scales automatically, and with its usage-based pricing, it provides customers with low-cost business intelligence solution. To summarize, here is a diagram showing the services that I will be using today in my demo. On the left-hand side, we have AppFabric, which will be the source of normalized and standardized SaaS data. Using Kinesis Data Firehose, we will take that data to Amazon Security Lake. Once that data is in Security Lake, we will use Amazon Athena to write some very simple investigative queries. And after that, we will look at a QuickSight dashboard and see how we can create alerts on top of that. Now let's move on to the demo. All right, you can see here the AWS console homepage. Let's go to AppFabric first. And I will give you a quick tour of AppFabric before we move on to creating ingestions to take data to Security Lake. In the Getting Started page, as you can see, I've already completed the steps that my colleague earlier mentioned. I've created an app bundle. I've authorized applications. In fact, I have already authorized 9 SaaS applications so far, and they're all in connected state, which is great. This other feature that we provide here, which is called user access, here I can search for my email address. I can check that, hey, actually, these SaaS applications are connected and that I am a user in these SaaS applications. So you can see this is a very simple tool that provides you visibility into what type of access a user may have. So if you click on this, for example, Okta, you can see my name, you can see the user status and other details, which we will add in the future. And under the ingestions tab, you can see that I've already started ingesting security logs for a number of SaaS applications. So let's get started here and create another ingestion. And remember that we're trying to get this data to Security Lake. So we start from AppFabric. Let's say I want to get data from Zendesk, Jira, and Slack. Because Security Lake has requirements around data format and file path in S3, et cetera, we are going to use Kinesis Firehose as a destination. Kinesis Firehose will transform the data in a way that fits Security Lake's requirements, and all of this is in our documentation. It will take you less than 10 minutes to set up a Kinesis Data Firehose stream. I've already created one. It is called ASL AppFabric Test. I will select OCSF and JSON as the schema and format, and I will set up ingestions. To check, I can just go back to ingestions. I will look at Zendesk. As you can see, I just added the ASL AppFabric test as the destination, and it is already active. So in what I have done in this Firehose stream is I have configured it to convert data into Apache Parquet. This is a security lake destination that I've added. So let me go through some of the steps that is required to set up this security lake destination for Kinesis Firehose. Security Lake supports native sources, which are other AWS services, as well as if you want data from third-party external sources, then you can use custom source. Let's create a custom source here. Let me copy my account ID. So let's give it a name. Let's give it an AppFabric Security Lake Demo 62723. This is a bit of long name, so let me make it shorter. I will select an event class that is supported by AppFabric. Let's select authentication here. I will provide my account ID, an external ID, and I'll create a custom source. This will take a couple of seconds. As you can see, this was the test custom source that I created earlier today, and this is the one that we just created. What it does is what Security Lake does is it will create this dedicated S3 bucket for this data type, and it will also do some other cool things such as create Athena table automatically, which we will take a look in a minute. So we have done the setup step. It normally takes less than 15 minutes. All you're doing is creating a custom source for inside Security Lake, configuring Kinesis Data Firehose with the right configurations, with Security Lake as the destination, and then adding this Firehose in AppFabric as a destination. All this in less than 15 minutes. Now let's get into the analytics and the investigation part. As I said earlier, Security Lake comes natively integrated with Athena. And it also creates a database in Athena. So as you can see, this is the table that the destination custom source that we just created in Security Lake. And this is the table that gets created automatically. This is the one that I created earlier today for testing. And there are other logs here from Lambda, Route 53, S3, et cetera. And that is the beauty of Security Lake, is that it centralizes all these security logs in a single place. Now let's say I am a security analyst in a company that is based in the US, and I am just, I've read about these on the press, these incidents about an international hacker group targeting companies using SaaS applications. So I'm curious, hey, have there been any activity in my SaaS applications from outside the US? So let me just copy this query. And all this query does is asks, hey, is there any user outside the US that is accessing our SaaS applications? And yes, there is. We have an actor here, richardrowe627@gmail.com, who has been active from Ukraine. Now I'm concerned. So let's say I want to investigate further. So now I am going to just filter on all activity from this user. And I want to just get a feel of what this user has been doing. As I can see, he has been logging into all these multiple SaaS applications. The beauty of AppFabric becomes really clear here, regardless of the application these data is sourced from. The schema is the same, the format is the same, and the activities are standardized. So he has been logging into Okta. He has been updating configuration in Okta as well. He's been also doing more things in Dropbox and other SaaS applications. So at this point, I want to investigate more. I don't know what's happening. So let's say I just want to suspend this user while I investigate. To help me focus on the specific SaaS application that I need to put my attention to, I can go back to my user access tool, look for this user email address. And here I see, oh, OK, this user has access in 4 SaaS applications. He's active in Okta. What I can do is I'll go to Okta. I will go to the admin console. I will look at the directory, people. I'll look at this user. And I can just suspend this user. What this does is it gives me time to investigate more and see what actually is happening without worrying that there might be more security threats coming in. Let's say I, as a security analyst, want to continue monitoring the situation. I want to know if there are other users also logging in from outside the US. What I can do is I can go to QuickSight. And here I've already created a data set, but I'll just show you really quickly. You can have Athena as a data source, give it a name. Select Security Lake database as the source. And as you can see here, the table is already populated. I can select this table that we saw earlier in Athena that was created by Security Lake, and then start visualizing. QuickSight provides all these various amazing visualization options. Let me show you something that I've already built. These are just various visualizations that you can build, but this visualization in particular shows you, hey, the activities are from across the world. There's some from the US, which is the majority, but there's also some from Ukraine. So this was the incident that we investigated earlier. And then in the second tab, you have all these cool filtering capabilities. You can filter on a specific user. Like in this case, I filtered on this user. You can also filter on specific apps, etc. And finally, if you want to create an alert, you can just select this Create Alert button. It asks you to select a cell and, OK, provide a threshold. I'll say anything above 0, alert me, send me an email, and save. So what this alert will look like in my email is something like this. You will get, hey, suspicion logins in the last 24 hours is above 0. There was 1 user. I can just click on View Dashboard, and I'll get taken back to that dashboard that we just looked at. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this session. And I don't know if we have a couple more minutes for questions. If you do, I'm open to answering them.
Awesome. Thank you, Pratima. So we did have one question come in, or actually 2. Excuse me. Does AppFabric have a way to integrate with any other AWS security services besides Security Lake? Can you say anything about that, or?
We are actively exploring. We know that customers love working with other services that provide security solutions, and we are very conscious of that. But we just want to make sure that the experience we deliver is right and adds value to customers.
Okay, and then kind of a follow-up to that was. When would you use, for example, Amazon OpenSearch versus Amazon QuickSight with data in AppFabric? Maybe. some sort of difference?
Yeah, it depends on your target user. If your target user wants to do some really in-depth document search or search using a search language, really in-depth language, then you would want to use OpenSearch. Whereas if you want to build like just specific views and have email reports going to your users, then you would use something like QuickSight. They both provide great visually rich dashboards.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, thank you, Pratima.